common challenge every one of us in this world we face, which is the art of convincing. Convincing our kids, our spouse, our parents, friends, neighbors, everyone on this earth. It is not easy, right? Like when we deal with our kids, we used to say, बेटा चॉकलेट ज़्यादा मत खाओ, थोड़ा पढ़ाई भी कर लो. I'm not going to talk much about spouse. Probably I'll make a different video for that. Again, convincing our boss, convincing friends, or anyone for that matter. It is not an easy job. We have to agree. This is something related to the skill, the art. It is called art of persuasion. So art of persuasion is making someone want to do the way you want to be done, or you want someone to believe the way you want to believe. I am going to share 5 very simple principles which I learned from my mentor and by reading different books. And I'm sure that you'll be able to get benefited from these 5 principles. Please listen till the end of this video. First principle is arouse emotions. When we want to persuade someone, we have to arouse emotions in their mind. Because decisions are not made with logic. Decisions are made with emotions. When we try to convince someone or persuade someone, we can't win the battle by giving logic. We have to tell them the result or the outcome. For example, when we talk about being healthy or ask someone to quit smoking, everybody knows, right? We have to be healthy, we have to eat right kind of food, and smoking is not at all good for our health. But if we just keep telling them, they may not follow. What we need to do is, we have to ask them right questions. What are the implications of smoking? Like it will affect the lungs. Even telling that may not help. We have to go to the extreme level. When they get sick, what will happen? It will affect their children, their family, their livelihood. That way, emotions will be aroused inside their mind. The next principle is become the problem expert. In order to convince someone, we have to become expert to articulate the problem better than the other person. When we go deeper into their problem space, ask the right questions in the right sequence, then we will be able to elaborate the problem better, analyze it. Then other person will be having better confidence on us, and they will assume that you are the right person to solve their problems. It will be much easier for you to persuade the other person. So we have to be a problem expert. The third principle, we have to make the other person think. So when we persuade someone, the other person may not get convinced because they will have a different kind of perception about us. They will be thinking in one direction. So we have to make the other person think in a different way so that their perception will get changed. When their perception gets changed, then they will start believing the solution we are giving to them. That we can do by asking the right questions with right scenarios and make them think differently. The next principle is 80-20 principle. When two persons converse, one person asks question and the other person answers, who do you think is in better control? It is the person who asks questions, right? For example, the lawyer asks questions to their clients, so lawyer is in better control, right? Doctors asking questions to their patients, they are in better control. So when we ask questions, then we'll be able to understand the problem better and we'll be in better control. So 20% of time we have to ask right questions and 80% of time we have to listen to the other person. When we spend more time listening to the other person will have more trust on us and they will be thinking that you are the right person to solve their problem. So 80% of time we have to listen and 20% of time we have to ask the right questions. The last but not the least principle is we have to think ahead of time. Persuasion is the game of predictability. We should be able to predict the thought process or the reactions of the other person. Before we tell something to the other person, we should be able to predict what the other person will be thinking next, what the reaction will be. You know, Vishwanathan Anand, the chess champion, he can predict 9 steps well ahead of the opponent. That's why he is champion. So in our real life, we should be able to at least think 1 or 2 steps ahead of the other person's thought process. In that way, we'll be able to persuade the other person very easily. So these are 5 very simple principles through which we can persuade or convince the other person. I'm sure that you'll be able to implement this in your day-to-day life without much difficulty. That's why I wanted to share with you, and I'm sure that you'll be benefited out of this. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you have a wonderful day ahead.